Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to part 2 of utilizing your God-given talent / gift. Alright guys, so we're gonna jump right into it. So the first question, Renee, how do you understand your God-given purpose? Like, how do you begin to understand it? How do you discover it?
Well, one way you discover it is pretty much like finding what you're good at and perfecting it, but also when you see that, okay, I like this, it's working for me, you should begin to pray and just ask God, do you desire for me to use this gift to glorify you, or do you have a purpose for me with this particular talent? Because look at us, like, God put a lot of seeds into us, and it's up to us to find them and grow them. He already did the planting. We have to water it. We have to take care of it so that it can grow and be what it was designed to be within us. Because you definitely don't want to leave this earth and then I don't know what happens in the afterlife when we do leave this earth. But for me, I look and think, okay, I know that I was born with a lot of talents. Like, I can sing, I write, I can paint, I cook, I do a lot of things. And there's some things that I probably can do that I'm not aware of just yet, but it's just, exploring what you're good at. And, once we leave this earth, you don't want to have, a lot of purposes being unfulfilled. And then you can see, like, dang, I lived this life, but if I would have just put more effort into this or that, like, I could have lived this way, So just really praying and meditating and asking God, okay, you blessed me to be able to sing or draw or build houses or, help people. What do you desire for me to do with it? And you ask, he will give you the answer. So that's the main thing right there. Just praying for, confirmation.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. That's good. So what encourages you to put time into your talent that you are blessed with?
The response that I get from people when they see, something that I've done, whether it's me painting, writing, or cooking, like that right there, somebody saying, oh, like, this is wonderful, like, you did this, you created this, like, their response, it just, like, kind of fuels my energy to just keep going. Like, okay, this person, that person said that, just imagine if I keep going and being persistent, like, what else could come of it? So that truly just helps me to just keep moving forward with the talent that I have.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think with me, what encourages me is, like, sometimes when I go back and I look at my videos, like, it's gonna sound crazy, but sometimes I forget it's me. Like, because the message in it is so powerful to where, a lot of times they say we start ministering to ourselves before we minister to anybody else. And so a lot of times, like, I go back and I reference what some of the stuff I've already said in prior videos, and that gives me encouraging thoughts and like just motivation and ambition overall to be like, wow, if I can step outside of myself and see that this message is good, not just because it's me, because we are our hardest critics. So for us to be able to compliment ourselves, you know what I'm saying? Because we'd be like, well, I could have did this, but I go back and I look and I'll be like, this is really good. So that encourages me. And the fact that my gift is somebody's healing. Mm-hmm. Somebody is waiting for me to walk into faith, full faith, and walk into purpose, because their healing, their deliverance, their encouragement, their ambition, is waiting on it. So your talent is not only going to make room for you, but it's going to make room for others. Right. So that is definitely what encourages me, especially a lot of the feedback that I get, people that I don't think is watching is actually watching, and I love it. It gives me, because sometimes I might just be having a week and I'm just like, having a tough time feeling motivated, or having a tough time wanting to record, and somebody will send a message, or somebody will call me and be like, yo, I've been watching your stuff and I love it, and and I'll be like, thank you, God, because that's what I needed at this moment. So that's very important, to continue to not only know encouragement but find encouragement. So that's dope. All right, so the next question, praying for understanding of your purpose. How have you asked God, like, what he desires of you? Like, how do you figure that out?
Basically through prayer, because you have to ask to get understanding. And sometimes it's like that, sometimes it's not. But when you pray and ask God, okay, give me understanding as far as like what do you desire for my life, and I already know it, because we already know what we desire in our hearts, but we also want it to align with God's desire with our life. We are supposed to, but sometimes we don't. We want it our way, but it's God's timing. But just paying attention, and just making sure that my hearing is sharp and my vision is clear. That's one thing that I pray daily, sharpen my hearing and bring clarity to my vision, so that I do not miss anything. And always reference, when hearing from God, John chapter 10, like, his sheep know his voice. And I'm like, God, am I hearing you clearly? Is that you, Holy Spirit? Are you, speaking on God's behalf for me to give me assurance? And I listen, and I hear him like, okay, God, that's what you want me to do. And sometimes I remember this video I saw from Patricia Shire. She's a pastor.
I love her.
And I know she's awesome. And my mom sends me videos from her.
Priscilla Shire.
Yeah, Priscilla. Oh, I'm sorry. Priscilla Shire.
yeah.
But yeah, my mom sent me videos of her all the time. And one thing she said her and her husband do is when they have certain things that they want to do, they narrow it down from like the easiest to the hardest. And regardless of the situation, and they always go with the one that seems the most difficult, because she said that's the one that God desires for us to do the most, the one that's the most challenging. Because when you're doing something that's easy, it's like, okay, that's it, and whatever comes from it comes from it. But when you truly are putting forth effort for something that like, oh man, I want to give up, sometimes I would get like a brain fart when it comes to painting. I'm just like, okay, I know I'm supposed to do this, because it's always something that's trying to distract me and just just make me feel like I can't do it. Or people say, yeah, you can't make a living off of this. Like, whatever God implants in you, there's something that's gonna come out from it. So I'm just like, okay, God, he'll give you that confirmation, like whether it's a friend, a stranger, something you see on TV, you on social media, some encouraging words just to keep you pushing and pressing forward. Like, okay, you're doing this right now, but just wait for what is to come. Because once you truly tap in, and then you open that door that just flows out those blessings that come from you being obedient, then you're like, man, oh my gosh, like, it is beautiful.
Okay, so I wanna talk about the non-believers, because not everybody is going to be spiritually based, spiritually inclined to when it comes to talent, comes to gifts, comes to purpose.
Right.
And so as believers and women of Christ, like, we know where to go to get rejuvenated, get inspiration. We know to pray. We know, to surround ourselves with like-minded individuals. But what about the unbelievers? How do the unbelievers, or the non-believers rather, how do they go and figure out their talents? Because they may not necessarily believe in God, or they might believe in God and not believe in Jesus, or they might just be more spiritual based. Like, how will they find their talents and their gifts, and what would they know? Like, how do we inspire those who don't pray, or don't go to church, or don't believe in God? Like, how are we gonna inspire them on this video? Like,
energy is very pure and you can feel it, whether it's good or bad. So when you're doing something and it like feels good with your energy, your aura, like you don't feel an imbalance from it, and as you continue to do it, it's just like, you know, rejuvenating you and just, you know, bringing you that serenity. For those that are more spiritual than anything, or you know, you believe that the universe aligns everything for you in your life, you feed off of energy. So if you're doing something that's not really like getting that output for you as much as you're putting your energy into it, and it's like draining you, then you need to redirect yourself, because obviously it's not feeding you the way that you think that it should. And that's with people as well. One thing, like meditating, you know, you can meditate on things, and you know, as you continue to meditate and manifest certain things in your life, as you continue to speak it and also do the work to make it possible, it does become yours. Like, it's attracting, you know, as much as you want something, and you create that energy source so that it attracts to you. Like a lot of people say, I am money, money loves me, you know, money comes easily to me. And as you're believing, it, you know, begins to align, and it does become yours, you know. That's like Mark 11 verse 24. You know, as you pray, you believe the things that you have prayed for have already become yours, and before you know it, hey, you got that house you was manifesting, you got that car, you got that dream job. You know, it's all about, you know, it's a mental state. It's just, you know, your mind. You know, even though you may not have it, you better walk around like you do.
Yeah. And a lot discovering talents for, you know, non-believers or people who believe in other things, it's about the thing that brings you peace. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a calming mechanism. Right. You know, mechanism. It's a coping skill. So a lot of times the things that, like, when you feel your body changing, like getting angry, and this is from a therapeutic standpoint, from a therapist, anything that, like when I talk to the kids that I work with, your talent is usually going to be the thing that calms you down. Mm-hmm. So if it's something, or it's going to be something leading to it. So in meditation, you might have a revelation about painting, or you might have a revelation about singing. You might have a revelation about dancing, or you always dreamt of doing something. So sometimes it's about limiting distraction, being still, and really, really being patient in what's inside of you. And I hear people say all the time, like, I don't have a talent, you know, I'm trying to figure out my purpose, I don't know what I'm good at. And that is because you're distracted. It's because you have not taken time to really be still and meditate and figure out exactly what your love is. So if you don't have a passion for anything, it's because you have not taken time to figure out exactly what you love. It's not always a talent as a singing or dancing. Sometimes your purpose is to serve and help others. Sometimes your purpose is to invent and create. Sometimes your purpose is bigger than what you could ever imagine, but it's not always the same talents as everybody else. Right. So let me see where we at. Okay, so I'm gonna stop there. This thing is getting juicy. So we're gonna come back with the final part 3. You guys, thank you so much for watching. I love you guys, and we'll see you in a second. Bye.